Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. There is nothing more important to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and probably the hardest working Attorney General in the nation than protecting our community's most vulnerable, our young people and our senior citizens. Today we're going to talk about three individuals who epitomize taking advantage of our senior citizens. There were three individuals that worked out of the Orlando area that would come to Hillsborough County and Lake County and Polk County with the sole intent of defrauding our senior citizens. They would target elderly Hispanic females, approach them, let them know that they had entered the country illegally and needed assistance because they won the lottery and weren't able to cash the ticket. They had another individual on the phone that they acted like they were talking to that was saying that they couldn't cash that ticket. So they took advantage of mostly Hispanic females because they figured they would empathize with their situation the most. They would tell them again that they needed help cashing this ticket, that here, I'll give you the winning ticket in exchange for providing the financial resources that they normally would get from the state of Florida. Some victims lost $2,000. Some victims lost $40,000. Some victims couldn't come up with the money, so the three individuals that we're going to talk about today said, not a problem. You can give us jewelry, and we'll use the jewelry in exchange for the ticket. So a total of these three individuals defrauded 12 that we're aware of, 12 Hispanic females, 10 in Hillsborough County, 1 in Lake County, 1 in Polk County, for a total of $152,034 in cash and $34,400 in jewelry. We're sending a loud message today between the Sheriff's Office and your Attorney General, working very closely, and we couldn't be more grateful for our Attorney General and Nick Cox with the Statewide Prosecutor's Office, Rita Peters. Thank you. Thank you for helping us, because these individuals now will be held responsible for not just the cases in Hillsborough County, but for all three counties. They will also be held accountable for other cases that will continue to be able to develop as this investigation certainly will continue after this is over. Also, to our Hispanic community, I plead to you, don't fall victim to this scam. Hear this loud and clear. There are people out there that are going to take advantage of you because of your innocence and because of your big heart. Do not let them do that. If you're approached by a subject, please call 911, call the Sheriff's Office, and let us handle it. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Major Christy Poor, who's the commander of our northwest portion of the county where a majority of these cases occurred. And behind me, you see the hardworking men and women, detectives that handled these cases. This was not an easy case to develop. They did a phenomenal job using their resources, their investigative techniques to track these suspects down and then hold them accountable. Again, I want to thank our Attorney General, the Statewide Prosecutor's Office. Thank you for being willing to take on this case. Attorney General, we couldn't be more grateful. We couldn't be more fortunate that we have Attorney General that shies away from no case regardless of the challenge. So thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for what you do. And at this time, again, it is a privilege to be able to introduce Florida's Attorney General, General Pam Bondi.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff Chronister, and to all these great detectives behind me, and to my Office of Statewide Prosecution, Nick Cox, and Rita Peters, who I worked with for many, many years, and I think one of the smartest things I did was bring them on with me. And Rita will be personally prosecuting this case along with these great detectives behind you. You've got a tough sheriff in Hillsborough County, and let me make myself very clear. If you prey on victims, especially our seniors, you will be sorry. Why do people prey on our seniors? Because they're vulnerable. We live in a population with a high senior number because they want to retire in Florida, they want to feel safe in Florida. And we are going to do everything we can to protect our seniors. I'm going to try to say something to you right now. I spoke with Homeland Security this morning just to confirm, Jim Spiro, who is a great man, and we're concerned that if we know we have 14 victims identified already. 14, right? 14. But we think there are many more out there in multiple counties. If you are a victim of a crime, do not be frightened to come forward because of your immigration status. You will be protected because you are a victim. Si le preocupa su estado migratorio, los protegemos. Los protegemos. You will be protected. And that's why we are doing this, to protect all victims. We will aggressively pursue anyone who preys on our victims. And please know, it's interesting because this week is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day today. And so I think it's perfect timing with Sheriff Chronister and all the hard work he's done making this announcement. But again, sadly, this is just one of many cases where they prey on our seniors, and we will be prepared to protect you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sheriff, thank you. Buenos días. Este caso es uno de los casos más difíciles porque es uno donde están atacando a los mayores de edad. En este caso hay 3 individuales de Orlando que han venido a Lake County, Hillsborough County y a Polk County buscando los mayores de edad para estafarlos de un dinero o joyería. Al fin del día tenemos 12 casos por todos los condados en donde le han quitado o robado 152,000 pesos en efectivo y 34,000 pesos en joyería. Es algo que está pasando por la región de nosotros y es algo que con el Attorney General Pam Bondi y el Sheriff Chad Chronister están unidos en atacar este esfuerzo criminal. El mensaje para los hispanos y más importante para los hispanos de mayor edad es si ven algo o alguien te viene a hablar sobre una estafa como esta o cualquier estafa, paren por favor, no abren el corazón ni el monedero y llamen al 911. El 911 es el amigo de ustedes, porque ahí es cuando me van a llamar a la oficina del alguacil o la policía y podemos verificar si algo ha pasado o si es una estafa de verdad. En este caso, lo que pasaba es que buscaban a los mayores de edad, muchas veces eran las señoras de edad, y le decían, tengo un ticket, un boleto de la lotería. Y entonces soy ilegal, no estoy documentado y necesito tu ayuda. Bueno, con la comunidad hispana, abren el corazón y los ayudaban. Le daban dinero en efectivo para entonces entregar el boleto y nunca le dieron el boleto. Es un crimen, es lo más malo de la sociedad de nosotros y es importante que sepan que si vienen a Hillsborough County no lo van a aceptar y te van a coger. Al fin del día, los detectivos que ves por detrás de mí con el mayor Christy Poor están indicados a esta causa. Es el Distrito 3, Town and Country y también el Citrus Park, donde la comunidad de nosotros hispana está en plenitud. Con eso, le doy el micrófono al Sheriff Chad Chronister y abrimos la conferencia a las preguntas suyas. Gracias.
Any questions?
Give us an idea of how the scam went down. How were these women targeted exactly?
That's a great question. In parking lots of department stores, they target them walking from the store to their cars and would approach them and put on a facade that they're in dire need, that this is the dilemma that they're in, and that this won't happen unless they help them, almost forcing them to believe that there's no other solution, no other alternative than if they provide the help that they were asking for.
Sheriff, how was your office first alerted to this?
The detectives behind us saw a trend of it occurring. They pull all the reports, the daily reports, were able to identify it, saw it happen a second time, called the city of Tampa. One had occurred there. They shared intelligence, put in a bulletin out, saw that it was occurring in another county, and immediately started to rush into action. A lot of them got in an undercover capacity, and off and running they went. So it's it's them that deserve the credit here today. They're the ones that were able to identify a trend, and they were the ones that were able to put these 3 individuals behind bars. Well, one's still out, but 2 of the individuals.
Was there ever any hesitation by the victims to come forward? Was it pretty easy to get them to talk, considering, you know, immigration statuses and all that stuff? I know you guys are, you know, saying come forward if you're a victim, but I just want to be clear, were they forward and what happened?
They did. They were, of course, every victim is apprehensive, I think, because they're worried about retribution from a suspect. And I think the Attorney General did a phenomenal job of making a plea. We know there's other victims out there. You know, please come forward. Regardless of your immigration status, you'll be protected because you're a victim of a crime. Please come forward and help us bring these individuals to justice. Those that are responsible for preying on our most vulnerable community members.
How did you guys arrest the 2? Was it undercover?
I'll let
wanna get into that, or-
Major Porter, you want to answer that?
Do you want to?
Yeah, it's still an ongoing investigation. They conducted surveillance after we had identified them over in another county, and then we got in touch with that county and worked with them to make the arrest, and then the individuals were extradited back to Hillsborough. So, and to add to that, a lot of our victims that the detectives dealt with, unfortunately, there was a lot of embarrassment to come forward because they felt embarrassed that they fell for the scam after they realized what it was. So we want people to understand that it's happening, and don't feel embarrassed. We want to work with them, and we want to make sure that we put the right people and that we hold everybody accountable for what's happened so far. So
Can I add to that? There is, and we see that, Sheriff Chronister and I have seen that throughout our careers, especially with the elderly, our senior population. They're embarrassed. We are all victims of scams at some point in our lives. We all are. And these criminals are so creative now in what they do. I mean, look at this scam that they came up with. And so don't be embarrassed. Please don't be embarrassed to come forward. You have no reason to be, because there's strength in numbers.
So 2 out of the 3 have been arrested?
Correct.
And where are those 2? Are they here in Hillsborough County Jail here?
One, I believe, is. Oh, they both bonded out, and one we haven't been able to locate yet. He's such a mastermind. He uses so many aliases. We're still trying to catch up with him.
Do you have any information on these 3?
And we do. We will provide that. We'll have Danny provide that information to all 3 of you, along with all the charges and all the information that you guys will need.
Do you,
Oh, okay.
sorry. Do you think there'll ever be a way for you to fully stop scams in society? It seems like they have become more prevalent these days because of the internet, but it seems like when law enforcement stops one, then the next day there's a new one that's up and running already.
Yeah, they're pretty thrifty, and we'll keep trying our best. I don't know if we'll ever stop it. I think we're doing a really good job, and we'll continue to do a great job of educating whatever portion of society they're trying to target, because like the Attorney General says, there's certainly strength in numbers coming forward, but the power of education, being educated, knowing that there's this type of scam, regardless of the type of scam. It's just scam, we've all been scammed before. It's just being educated that we won't allow it to happen again. What I guess what I'm trying to say is we're going to do everything we can to educate the public to try to reduce the likelihood of there being another victim.
And in addition to these lottery scams, are there other scams going on out there that you could foresee that there are new ones?
Yes, we are. We are, and the first thing I'd like to say on that is, if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. That's what we tell all victims. But yes, thank you for asking, and especially because it's tax season, and it's the IRS scam. And frankly, everyone out there, be prepared to get a call from someone saying that they are with the IRS. Probably some of you have already received those calls, that you owe back taxes, you haven't paid enough. The IRS will never call you at home. They will never ask for your personal information, nor will they ever ask you to wire money to them to pay your taxes. That will not happen. Grandparent scams are another one that we're dealing with. In fact, I was just dealing with one last week. They call grandparents and they say, with social media now, you made a great point. With social media and our technology now, they call, it's unbelievable. They look on Instagram or Facebook and they see where your grandchild is, spring break, summer, they're off with their friend. They call the grandparents, and these are really the most successful scams, and say, I'm Johnny, I'm on vacation with Chad, and he just got arrested or he's in the hospital, and he doesn't want to call mom and dad. And grandparents, the majority of the time, pay the money. They wire money to some offshore place, and these scammers are so good because the grandparents know that their grandchild is on vacation. So in their minds, it's legitimate. These are fake. Utility scams, imposters claim to be from a utility company. They're going on right here in the city of Tampa. One happened right here recently. They're threatening to turn off your power. And now they have the ability, it's called spoofing. The number may come up with a power company's name on it. That's how frightening they are. A power company will never ask for your social security number over the phone. They will never ask you to wire money to them. Give out your personal information. If you think that's happening, hang up and call your company. Also, charitable solicitation scams. Be very careful when many legitimate charities do call, but before you do that, verify it. Please call my office if you're anywhere in the state of Florida, because this is happening in multiple counties. 1-866-9-NO-SCAM. And Danny, I may need your help on that one. Okay. But it's 1-866-9-NO-SCAM.
Sheriff, were these three going after one victim at a time, or was it two of them versus one victim, or one versus one and then calling each other?
It was one at a time. One at a time. They'd work in conjunction. There was even the contributing member that was on the phone, acting like they were from the state Florida lottery system, that would talk to the victim and let them know there was no other options. They did a good job tag teaming and taking, like I said, once again, just making it so real that they were able to take advantage of these victims.
Are you going to do any outreach maybe toward the Hispanic community so that they know, hey, we're here, if you're a victim, please call us?
And that's certainly the purpose of this press conference today. It's the beginning, but absolutely rolling out a lot of different social media platforms, some type of email platforms, and through our community resource deputies, along with our community outreach division, talking through Neighborhood Watch, making sure that they're aware of not just this scam, but like the Attorney General said, all the scams. You know, this is scam season. We're going into the height of scam season, and making sure everyone's aware of it, knowing that the only way to reduce that likelihood is by being more educated.
$2,000.
Go ahead.
Say $2,000 or $40,000. Do these seniors have any chance of ever seeing this money again?
I can tell you, Rita, we've charged them, to answer your question too, with racketeering, conspiracy, fraud. They're looking at hundreds of years in prison cumulatively. But that shows they were working together in concert. Whether or not we get the money back, I don't know. But it's risky, of course, but we will be aggressively prosecuting them. And Sheriff Chronister and I talk constantly. And outreach is so important. Absolutely. Especially in the state in which we live, with such a high senior population. So if you're watching this now, you all have social media accounts. Let's use it for good. Post this on your social media account. What's going on? Tell your relatives to be careful. And you know, seniors out there, what we always tell you, and we've been going to Sun City since we were young prosecutors. Tell your, if you get this call, talk to a family member. Talk to your son or your daughter, or call our office, call the sheriff's office. Talk to us before you give any money over the phone or over the internet.
A question in Spanish?
Yes.
El problema de nuestra comunidad es que tienen miedo a reportar este tipo de delitos.
Sí. So, es muy importante, y es lo que el Attorney General Pam Bondi dijo también. Sí, el estatus migratorio de uno no importa cuando son la víctima de un crimen. So, el mensaje es muy claro. Si son víctimas de crimen, no importa de dónde son o cuál es el estatus, por favor llame 911 para que podamos parar este crimen y las estafas. So, Yo sé que hay mucho miedo y eso es parte de la razón que la oficina esta está haciendo comunicaciones en español. El condado tiene 30% hispano y el sheriff está dedicado a comunicarse con esa población. Hace trabajo en Guayamama, hace trabajo en Citrus Park y en Town and Country y todo donde se encuentra en hispano. Mira, por ejemplo, la oficina de nosotros ya tiene 2 hispanos. La cabeza de la oficina de nosotros de comunicaciones es hispana y ahora vamos a expandir a un Facebook y a Instagram en español también. Todo viene para la comunicación, pero a la primaria, si hay miedo, no lo tengan. Nosotros somos los amigos de ustedes para proteger a todo el mundo sin falta ni importa el estatus inmigratorio.
And if you're out of the county, 1-866-9 no
Yes, ma'am.
scam, and we have people that speak
Okay.
better Spanish than I
Y
do.
también, lo que dice el attorney Pam Bondi, el número es 1, what was the number again, ma'am?
1-866-9
1866 9
no scam.
no scam. Y lo que pasa es que si alguien llama a ese número, hay alguien que puede hablar en español. Si hay una estafa, llaman ese número y es una línea directa a la oficina de ella para la prosecución con el fiscal. Gracias.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you coming out. Thanks for helping us get the word out today. Couldn't be more grateful. Thank you, Attorney General. Thank you, Statewide Prosecutor's Office. Thank you for being here, Nick Cox. Thank you, Ms. Rita Peters. Sure appreciate it. And again, thank you to these hardworking men and women behind me, or that we wouldn't even be talking about this case. And if we can publicize this case, maybe we will have one less victim tomorrow. So thank you again.